Welcome back, my brothers, my G's, maybe even some ladies are here. We have another video. I've never watched it. Guess we can get the reaction together, see what one. But it's about who created the simulation that we live in. Now, do I believe that we live in a simulation? Not necessarily, so that's why I'm kind of keen on like hear what my man says. But we're living in something. We're definitely living in something right now, and it's just like, bro, everything's just fucked. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, when we go down this rabbit hole, it's just everything's just fucked. So, we're gonna see what he says, see if it's making sense, see if we're actually living in a simulation, because that would be crazy to believe that until I actually know like we actually are. But yeah, no more chatting shit. Let's get to it.
This simulation is not confined to this level that we call the human world, but there are other levels of it which we call the spirit world. And what if, when people leave the body, if they are not at a state of awareness, what the Eastern religions would call enlightenment, to be vibrating to a frequency which comes from your perceptual state, to get out of the frequency bubble that this simulation is, on all its different levels. Well, how about you just go back into the cycle and you keep recycling, not actually onto a billionth of a pinhead, but from one, although it just appears like that, but you're actually reincarnating from other levels of the simulation into this level of the simulation, and it just goes on and on and on. And what if, just as people are bewildered by what the hell this world is and what's happening, that when you leave the body, if you've not reached a certain level of awareness of what the hell's going on, which is what the book's all about, then you're bewildered in another way, and you believe, just as you believe you're here for this reason, that reason, or you're here to learn lessons or whatever you believe, outside of this, still in the simulation, you believe that you have to keep coming back here to learn lessons to get out of the cycle. And it was interesting to me that when you look at ancient cultures and cultural beliefs, they do believe in this cycler movement in and out of this reality. And there's a very old esoteric concept of what they call the ring pass knot. The ring pass knot is perceived to be a limit, you could symbolize it as the outer rim of a bubble, that if you're not in a certain vibrational state, i.e. state of awareness, which is why they relate enlightenment to getting out of here, then you can't get through the ring pass knot. Other beliefs and religious beliefs talk about the Ouroboros, which is the snake eating its own tail, which is symbolic of this limit, this ring pass knot. And so it becomes clear to me that the trap is much bigger than just the manipulation of this reality that we call the human world. It goes beyond that, well beyond that. So you come into this world to learn lessons, but what happens? You suffer from emotional and mental traumas and challenges. It pulls you into depression, into anxiety, into fear, the four-letter word that controls the world, and if actually controls the simulation in all its forms. And you leave the body overwhelmingly in a low vibrational state, so you don't get out of here. The idea is that you keep control of perception, i.e. frequency, to the point where no one gets out of here. And you know, there are traps everywhere. Like there's the trap of, yeah, it's about reincarnation and learning lessons. It's a freaking trap. It's not about learning lessons. We don't have to learn lessons. We are all that is, has been, and ever can be. We don't have to learn lessons to stop incarnating on a billionth of a pinhead or into this level of the simulation, whichever you choose to symbolize it as. We can reach our own state of enlightenment just by the realization of who we are. And if you look at when you come into this reality, the human world, what are they telling you from cradle to grave to self-identify yourself with? The body and the labels of a human life. They're saying you are a man, you are a woman, you are something in between.
Yeah, I was gonna say human. Because that is the biggest limitation. Like, you're human. You know what I'm saying? Of course you're gonna get, oh, this is what happens. We're human. You're limited. But for you to realize that you're God in a human flesh, kind of like Jesus, and this is where things get mad. Like, when I tell people this, like, you were based, like, Jesus was the example. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, that apostle said, with God, all things are possible. That's true. With God, everything is possible. When you believe that you are God and you can walk with God, you're limitless. You have everything. You are everything. And that realization is what unlocks everything. But when you're told you're human, God is over there. God is a picture. God is this building. Everything's over there. Like I've always said, that everything is within. You do not need anything else. God didn't give us any lack. We have everything. Abundance, love, every single thing. So when you keep on getting told, nah, bro, that's blasphemy, or that's like, when I say like, oh yeah, I low-key believe that everyone's a God, like, oh my gosh, you can't worship yourself, like, relax. It's just like, see, but I feel like that's the trick. That's the trick, fam. They want you to see it as a negative thing of praising yourself so highly with God. Do you understand? But you're God's child, fam. You're made in the same image. Because with the conscious mind and God, what's the difference? It's present, it's powerful, it's always here. You can't limit it. You can't lie to it. You can't love God and not love yourself. Like, everything you have to do with the conscious mind, with the subconscious mind, you have to do, like, everything you want to do with God, you have to do with the subconscious mind with yourself. You cannot love God and not love yourself. That's why people that love God so much, their life is still shit. Their life is still shit. They're praying to God, but their life is still shit. They will never ever get what they're praying for, because they're asking it from something, like, they're praying towards something instead of acting like you already have it. You're praying for love, cool, I am love. Start looking for it, start searching for it. Do you understand? So I truly believe that.
By this sexuality, you are that race, you are this religion, you are that income bracket, all these...
Exactly, the labels, bro. Now you spitting, fam. With the labels, bro. You're not your name, you're not your fucking job, you're not your skin color, you're not any of these things. These are labels. This is limitations, fam. Labels limit yourself. So when you say, oh, I'm a man, I'm black, I'm whatever job you have, whatever car you drive, you put yourself in, you're none of those things, G. You're none of those things, fam. You're not that.
All these labels, that's who you are. And if you perceive yourself in those incredibly limited terms, because they're not who we are, they are experiences that who we are, consciousness, it's briefly having in a human life. But if you self-identify with those labels, you're self-identifying with limitation. When you self-identify with limitation, your sense of limitation becomes expressed vibrationally in a low vibrational state, which means when you leave this reality, this human reality, you're in a vibrational state that stays in the cycle, round and round and round it goes. And, you know, the other part of the trap is, where did the simulation come from? And I've been writing about this for quite a while. As Rich Terrell at NASA said, if this is a simulation, which he believes it is, who the hell created it? And this brings us to that question I posed earlier. Why can't we see that which is manipulating us in a non-human form, as I say it is? Well, because we can only see this tiny narrow band of frequency called visible light, and the force that is manipulating human society, controlling the simulation, actually created the simulation to enslave us by enslaving our perception. It's what the simulation is, enslavement of perception, is operating outside the band of frequency that we can see. And if we call this reality the third dimension, keep it simple, and a higher or another level of frequency high enough for us not to be able to see it. The fourth dimension is what spiritual people call the astral dimension or the astral plane. When people talk about astral traveling, it's actually traveling with the mind, because the fourth dimension, the astral dimension, is the dimension of mind. And it's from there that this reality is manipulated, controlled, and orchestrated from. And if you look at, you talk to people about other dimensions, even if they accept that that's real, they perceive other dimensions to be way out there. Oh my God, they're way out there, these other dimensions. Well, some of them are. Some of them in frequency terms are so far from the frequency band that we're operating in, it's just ridiculous how far away they are. But other dimensions like this astral dimension, the lower level of it, the lower frequency level of it, actually is fusing into this. It bleeds into this reality. And if you look at how they describe the lower levels of the astral plane, the fourth dimension, what they call the lower astral, and you talk to people in different ancient cultures, you talk to people in the spiritual movements of today, they'll say that's the place where the demons are. That's the place where the demonic consciousness is. That's where the darkness is, as they would call it.
Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the
I don't know what he was about to bridge towards, the space where we need to get to is demonic. The power of the mind. A lot of religious people say that's demonic. I don't know if that's where he was gonna end his point with, but I do agree with that. A lot of our power in the mind, in believing that we are gods, and to allow us to fully be, to unlock our true potential, is that religion calls it devilish. You know what I'm saying? You have to praise the God, God is everything. Cool, yeah, but you're separating. It's this separation that pisses me off. It's a separation. And the thing is, yeah, these things I don't truly believe, but it allows you to just be open. You know what? You know what? Fair enough. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. The whole simulation thing, I don't believe 100%, but it's just just have it with an open mind. You get this, hear what he's saying. You know what? That might be. You know what I'm saying? That might be. Because I truly believe that you need to believe whatever's going to help you in this world. Cool. Me believing that everyone is a god. I'm a god, you're a god. Everyone is a god. If that's not true, it's it's going to benefit me in believing that I am, because that's going to allow me to not be in lack. That's going to allow me to have the confidence like a god. It's going to, I'm not going to have fear. Do you understand that all the things that I'm going to get from this thing is going to benefit me, instead of seeing calling myself a god is negative. Oh, it's a sin or some shit. I'm attaching negative things, or I need a church to have this hope, or I need to read the Bible to have this hope, or I need to pray X amount of times a day to have it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then they just I don't need to do anything. Do you understand? Because I am it. But it's just that realization of me knowing that I am it, that is all you needed. Is just the knowledge that that's who you are. That's it. And then you're done. And then you're done. You don't need to go to a location to get closer to God. You don't need. Do you understand what I'm saying, fam? But that's just my point of view. Do you get it? That's just my point of view. It's not the truth. That's just my point of view. And it's fucking helping me. You know what I'm saying? It's doing me good. So whatever's doing you good, keep on doing it. But if you've been on you know what I'm saying, the religion's a bit shaky, I think everything, then yeah. But that was a good little video, man. This kind of expands your brain, and that's what you just need to expand your brain and just think alright, cool, what's really going on? And it's just fun as well. It's just fun to see what going on. It's fun to see other people's information, and yeah. So until the next video, my G, take care. That's it.